All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a powerful story that hits on a struggle I think we all know a little too well. That intense friction between having these massive, world-changing dreams, but possessing absolutely zero drive to actually achieve them. It's the destructive nature of inaction. And honestly, understanding this trap is the very first step to beating it. So, tell me this. Have you ever desperately wanted success, imagined a vastly better life for yourself, but the second it was actually time to put your head down and do the work, you just pushed it to tomorrow? Yeah, this question really gets to the heart of what we're looking at today. It challenges those of us who dream big but constantly delay the actual grind. It's a comfortable trap, for sure, but man, is it a dangerous one.
Section 1. The Dreamer's Dilemma. Wanting without doing.
To really illustrate this, our source text introduces us to a guy named Amir. Now, Amir is a 25-year-old farmer. He's strong, he's healthy, and he's just full of these incredibly big dreams of becoming the richest, most respected farmer in his whole village. But there's a catch. He has one major, glaring flaw. He completely lacks the drive to take action. And what's so fascinating about Amir is how perfectly he mirrors a trap we all fall into, wanting the massive reward without any of the sacrifice. He loves the idea of success, but he literally hates the hard work that success demands.
Moving on to Section 2, Amir's Empty Field, Dreams versus Reality.
This part of the story brilliantly illustrates the massive gap between claiming you want a golden harvest and actually putting in the sweat to plant the crops. I mean, Amir talked a huge game. He'd constantly tell his friends, "I'm going to be the richest farmer," and brag about how his field would shine golden. But his actions? They completely betrayed his ambitions. While all the other farmers were up at sunrise, toiling away under the hot sun, Amir, he just stayed in bed. Or he'd literally just sit in the shade, talking about his dreams.
Well, eventually, this catches up to him. One evening, Amir's wise old uncle drops by for a visit and points out the glaringly obvious. Amir's land is rich, sure, but the soil is completely dry and empty. And when confronted, Amir gives his classic, incredibly dangerous excuse. He says, "Uncle, don't worry, I will start tomorrow. My field will be the best. Just wait and see." You know the old saying, right? Tomorrow is always the busiest day of the week for a lazy person.
Which brings us to Section 3. The two magic seeds. Ambition versus laziness.
Recognizing Amir was stuck in this endless loop of procrastination, the uncle decides to intervene with a pretty unique lesson. He gives Amir a choice between two magic seeds. The first one is the ambition seed. Now this one requires daily water and intense care to grow into a fruitful tree that provides shade and wealth. The second is the laziness seed. And this one? It grows incredibly fast, entirely automatically, but it spreads destructive weeds. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is the stark contrast between these two paths. One requires constant daily discipline, while the other takes over automatically the very second you stop trying. All right, Section 4, the harvest of laziness, the cost of inaction.
Given that choice, what do you think a chronic procrastinator actually does? Well, that very first morning, when he was supposed to be out planting the ambition seed, Amir felt a little tired, so he delayed until tomorrow. Days passed. Finally, just out of pure boredom, he tossed both seeds into the dirt, telling himself, I'll take care of them later. Then, weeks went by. You see, time compounds our daily habits, and as those days turned into weeks, Amir just slept, gossiped, and dreamt, all while his field suffered. He completely forgot about the seeds. And exactly as his uncle warned, the result was a disaster. That laziness seed grew so fast, turning into thick weeds that literally choked the land and spread everywhere. And because the ambition seed received zero water and zero care, it became weak, small, and almost died. The horrifying result of this neglect was that those fast-growing weeds of laziness choked out the fragile ambition he had completely ignored. Amir's grand dream was turning into a literal nightmare right in his own front yard. So when the uncle finally returns to see this devastated field, he absolutely does not mince words. He tells him, "My son, you wanted to be great, but your laziness has already stolen your future." Wow, it's a sobering truth, isn't it? While ambition dies without daily work, laziness thrives entirely on its own. It spreads like wildfire and it destroys everything in its path.
Let's look at Section 5. Pulling the weeds.
Hearing those harsh words, something finally snaps inside Amir. He falls to his knees, touches that dying ambition seed, and this massive realization just washes over him. Dreams are not enough. Only action keeps them alive. This realization hit Amir like a ton of bricks. It forced him to accept that his empty promises weren't just harmless, they were actively destroying his life. He whispered to himself that if he didn't change right then and there, laziness would own him forever.
And to reverse the damage, he had to take immediate, painful action. The very next morning, Amir actually doesn't wait for tomorrow. Step 1, he wakes up before the sun. Step 2, he pulls out those thick weeds by hand. Step 3, he starts watering the ambition seed daily. He worked until his back ached and his hands literally bled. For the first time, he chose immediate, painful action and discipline over his own comfort. And you know what? Slowly but surely, that tiny ambition seed grew into a strong plant, and eventually a magnificent tree, providing fruit, shade, and real wealth. His relentless daily care ultimately transformed his whole life. He actually became known throughout the entire village as the man who fought laziness and won. He became the successful farmer he always dreamed of being, but only because he finally put in the hard work.
And finally, Section 6, Your Field, Your Choice, Applying the Lesson. Now, we have to bridge the gap between Amir's fictional field and the reality of our own lives, because we all hold both of these seeds inside us, right? If you want your ambition to grow, you absolutely must feed it daily with effort. You have to maintain strict discipline, take consistent, visible action, and above all, stop waiting for tomorrow and start today. Making that ambition seed grow requires you to stop relying on tomorrow and commit to the hard effort right now. Because remember, laziness doesn't need your help to grow, it will gladly take over your field all on its own.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to look at your own daily habits and seriously ask yourself this question before another day slips away. What weeds of laziness will you pull out today? Seriously, don't let another day slip away. Go pull those weeds, because the longer you wait, the more your dream dies. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and start taking action right now.